channel, and yeah, thank you. Also, I've taken the comment on board. I will try to talk slower. I think it's that when you're reading something, you like kind of start to talk faster. I mean, as long as it's like your first language, which English is, you kind of start to talk faster, because if you were comparing like how I'm talking at the start of the video, I'm not saying this is slow, but just that I'm thinking of the words before I say them, and so I have to think about it, and that like slows down the speaking a bit, you know. But once you're reading something, you're reading quite fast. But yeah, or usually, so I'll try to slow that down. It's just cause if my natural pace is to go a bit faster, or not fast to me, fast to some people, then that's like what I've been doing my whole life or for many years, so that's hard to change. So yeah, as you can probably tell by the title, today is part 2 of what I'm watching. In this video we have Netflix and just other shows, like not particular streaming platforms, just stuff. I mean I stream them, but it could be on like HBO or some other stuff, American ones or Hulu, but I've just streamed it on the internet because I don't have those. So the other one was longer than I thought last time. Word-wise, in my document, I actually have more words than last time, because I used a word counter to count the words. But we'll see. But last time I remember I was also kind of adding to the description I had written, because just if I wanted to add anything at the time. So yeah, I've written out the show and then little descriptions, and then if I wanted to add something I would, because like I wouldn't want to think of these on the spot because I might not remember very well or whatever, so it does take a bit of planning. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get into it. Just a quick, I'll say at the start, so if you click off before that or fall asleep, you'll have heard it. If you have any suggestions for any video ideas or like themes of video ideas, so say like true crime, I already do true crime, but a certain suggestion, then let me know. I appreciate the suggestion. I got one of my true crime videos for another true crime, and I will be researching that. It just takes a little while to research. I'm also going to try and upload true crime like twice a week, as I said before, but we'll see if I get to that. But pretty much, and I think I'll get into it. So I'm going to start with kind of recently, but honestly there's only one that I've really been watching recently, or like that I haven't watched before. Sometimes I rewatch stuff. So it kind of just popped up as a recommended, or I think it was actually on my brother's Netflix. It popped up. We were watching, I think I mentioned this last one, Black Mirror, but and then it popped up and I was like, what's that? And then I went onto my Netflix and it recommended to me as well. I think it was like just a new release. So it's called Who is Aaron Carter? And I've already watched it all. There's only like 7 episodes, I think. It's really good. So Aaron Carter is about a woman, Erin, a substitute teacher who goes with her daughter to the supermarket and witnesses a shooting. This is more than it seems. The people involved in the supermarket robbery are people from her past lives, so it's not just some random people. What actually happens is her daughter goes to the bathroom, and the employees like, we're closing too soon, don't take too long. And when they go out of the bathroom, they both go in. Something's amiss, and they're like, everyone is like on the ground, the shoppers, and they're trying to rob the supermarket or whatever. And she gets her daughter tied, and then an orange like starts to roll, and they're like, why would that be happening? Like wasn't someone there before? That means someone's moving. And to get the attention away from her daughter, she kind of attacks the robber or whatever. And throughout the series, we learn more about Erin's past and what brought her to Barcelona, because she didn't always live in Barcelona, and this is where it's set in Barcelona. So now we're going to move on to not so recently. There's going to be, now thinking about it, I didn't actually do Black Mirror before. It's in this one. easily could have gone to Netflix in recent years. So like Gossip Girl, for example, I don't think that was on Netflix. I definitely didn't watch it on Netflix, and Gilmore Girls and stuff. Maybe Gilmore Girls was on Netflix, but I don't know. I feel like I was streaming it at one point, but I could have watched it on Netflix. Anyway, so some of them are gonna be cliches, I've watched. Doesn't necessarily mean it's highbrow, but yeah, let's get into it really, because there are so many of these and the time is going. So, Vampire Diaries, a popular one, cliche, but I've watched it all. So the series is set in the fictional town of Mystic Falls, a town charged with supernatural history. It follows the life of Elena Gilbert, a teenager who's just lost both her parents in a car accident. She falls in love with the vampire Stefan. The story follows them along with Stefan's brother Damon, the villains they face, and trying to hide the fact they are vampires from the town. So when it has like a description like this, I'm going to try and only do it from like what you'd learn from like the first episode or the first few episodes, because depending on how long the series is, because I don't want to give away too many spoilers, So that description may have changed, as the series goes on. Also note some of these are straight from kind of Wikipedia, some are like, well, with help from other kind of Wikipedia kind of sites just to write it, because I can't remember everything. But yeah, I think last time I wrote more of my own descriptions. This time I might have got them more from online. But so then we have Gilmore Girls, another popular one. This show follows a young mother and studious daughter, Rory. They both have big ambitions. Lorelai wants to run an inn, and Rory wants to attend Harvard. This show follows their day-to-day lives in their small town, and later follows Rory to college. Lorelai has a strange relationship with her parents. The show begins with Rory getting into a fancy private high school, the only negative being it's kind of expensive to attend, and Lorelai doesn't have the money. She tries everything but has to ask her parents for financial help, which is hard for her pride, as she raised Rory completely by herself until now, and she had her at 16. A condition of paying for Rory's tuition is that her grandparents will have weekly Friday night dinners with the two girls. It's a very fun show. Both mother and daughter have a great relationship, almost more like friends, but I can't keep up with their references. They go on and on about TV shows, blah blah blah. And they always had this diner, Luke's, and then they also always eat fast food. Rory, already quite young, like 16 or something, has an obsession with coffee already, but they still really didn't even know they eat fast food all the time. And yeah, it's interesting, the dynamic. Rory's one of her what kind of becomes her friend, but kind of like enemy, not enemy, but like rival. Paris is in it for a lot of the show, and Rory has various love interests, including Dean, Jess, and Logan. They're the big ones anyway. She might have had a few smaller ones, but honestly I'm not sure if she did. And yeah, Lorelai has various love interests as well, and yeah, it's a really enjoyable show, very heartwarming, small town living kind of thing. They're very invested in their kind of town traditions, and they like living in the small town of Stars Hollow. But that's pretty much like it's that thing that's kind of like interesting to watch. But would you want to live in a small town where everyone knows your business? Not particularly, But yeah, as well, there's a year in the life, so there's 4 episodes, one for every season, and it follows Rory as an adult. But it's kind of criticized, or that like Rory is criticized in a way in general, that she had like her prime years, like she peaked in high school kind of thing, because she struggles as an adult. But either way, that's life. Also, I wanted to say about the Vampire Diaries, I didn't mention, there's 2 spin-offs, or 2 things, the originals after, and then Legacy after that. The originals is also, it's kind of about the more Klaus, so one of the vampires, not, and stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure. And then Legacy is about Klaus's daughter. So yeah, and her like living. But also Alaric, one of the characters, um, is the like headmaster of the school that they make, that kind of magical school. But yeah, because they don't just go to like regular high school like they did in Vampire Diaries, they go to a special magical kind of school. But in the originals, I think it's more adult, there's no like kind of school vibe to it. So now we're on to Gossip Girl, another classic. The show is set in New York City. The series revolves around the lives of privileged upper class adolescents living in Manhattan's Upper East Side. The series begins with It Girl Serena Vanderwood's returning from a mysterious absence. She is reunited with her frenemy Blair Waldorf and her mother Lily, and meets Dan Humphrey, an aspiring writer from Brooklyn. The title of the show comes from the writer of a blog where people send in tips about gossip relating to the students of their school. No one knows who writes the blog, and it remains this way until the season finale. There's also a sequel of the show. I've watched a few episodes of it, but not that many. I stopped for some reason. It's like the same vibe with the Gossip Girl, but someone else is now Gossip Girl because we've revealed the first one. And like it would be kind of weird if like the whole point is it's going to be someone in their year kind of, and like why would this like who's now like an adult like still be writing like stuff about you know younger kids at the school. You know, they'd want to move on, they wouldn't really be interested in that. So I haven't watched many. I have watched a few episodes, but now there's 2 seasons of it. I didn't even know. I was watching it when there was only 1 season still out. I'm not sure when the second season came out, maybe this year, maybe last. But yeah, it's quite interesting. It's like less relatable in that way, is that they're all quite rich except for Dan, and Dan is portrayed as like the poor kind of kid. Dan and Jenny. Jenny's the sister, kind of the poor kid, like raised by kind of not single father. Something happens with their mother. Like it seems like they've just like Rufus, Dan's father, seems to have just kind of have separated from their mother, or something happened, and like it's kind of alluded, but like that you never see her in the whole series. But so Dan is kind of portrayed as like the poor kid, and like they live in Brooklyn, and that's portrayed as like a really poor kind of area. But if you actually think of New York, I don't think that's really the case. You know, they're not that poor. They're just kind of like middle class or something, you know. But just in comparison to all the rich kids like Serena and Blair, like they live in hotels and stuff. Well, not all of them, but do they? I don't even remember at this point. Chuck and all them, Nate, they're all like quite rich. So it's just in comparison. So in that way, it's less relatable than say something like Gilmore Girls, because Gilmore Girls, like, the main characters are like struggling a bit financially. Well, not that much. It's like they can't, like, Rory goes to this private school then, and her mom can't afford to read it. That's why she has to talk to her parents about financing it. But like all the other kids in Gossip Girl, kind of they go to a fancy school, and it's probably costs money to go to like that, but they have no trouble affording it, their parents. And it's all like they buy all these expensive clothes and stuff. Like they drink and like even do drugs, some of them, like Serena, and like they have no problem like affording this, you know. Like most teenagers wouldn't have the money to just like go shopping all the time for really fancy clothes and drink and stuff like that. Like anyway, so now moving on to kind of different vibe. Black Mirror. Also, these are in no particular order, as I probably said. I haven't watched all the episodes of Black Mirror, but I've watched a good few individual episodes. Explore a variety of genres, but most are set in near future dystopia with sci-fi technology. Some of the episodes are quite dark, but also quite creative. There's also a movie. It's interactive and has alternative endings, so you get to actually pick what the characters go through. I think when I originally watched it, you couldn't do it just like on the regular TV. You had to do it on your laptop, and maybe if you want to do it on the TV, stream it to your TV, like AirPlay to the TV. And then when I had a choice, you had to kind of just like to watch my own thing. But we both kind of like Black Mirror, but both of the episodes were quite dark that we watched. They were like quite good, but there was like death in both of them, and so it's creative though, and fun, and like it's like kind of like exploring like in the future, like where everything with technology is going, technology becoming more and more advanced, like what the future with technology would look like, you know. Like one of them is about something with doing the day you're gonna die or something, and to do with that, and one of them is about like, I think it's her partner dies, I'm not sure, and like she has a actual like robot kind of him to replace him or something, and stuff like that. Anyway, so the next one I'm gonna put Fresh Meat. I think I've watched this like, or partially watched it more than once. Like I fully watched it once, but I might have like watched random episodes, and it's quite a different vibe to some of the other stuff you'd see. And like lots of the ones I watch are American, but this is distinctly English. And like some of the shows I love that I quite like English shows as well, depending. So the story revolves around the lives of 6 students at the fictional Medlock University, roughly based on the University of Manchester in Manchester, of course. They all live together in an off-campus house instead of university halls of residence, because they're all except Howard in first year. So usually you move into halls in first year, and then you move off a campus to an off-campus house once you kind of like meet people that you want to share with. Halls is just going to be stuck with people, and then the people that you move with in second year could be people you met in halls, or could be anyone, people that you kind of choose to live with. But they're in an off-campus house, but it's not the same vibe as halls in that they didn't really choose to live together. It's just where they got accommodation. I think the accommodation was actually full because they applied too late. That's why they got stuck with this. So it's a fun, blunt show, more realistic than the over-the-top American college TV shows. Very kind of like you can imagine this kind of actually happening. Some of the stuff. So a lot of it, they're just kind of going to class and going for drinks at the pub, which is a lot of the college, university kind of culture in the UK and Ireland at least. I'm not sure about the States as much, going to pubs and stuff, because you have to be 21 to drink in most states, but the drinking age is 18 in UK and Ireland and lots of other countries. So you can very much go to the pub and whatever. And a lot of people, depending, are drinking before that, quite young. So they're not typical housemates who choose to live care. It's very much similar to the halls vibe. In that, like, there are a lot of different personalities that clash and wouldn't necessarily choose to live together. From the posh JP to carefree Vaught, organs, insecurities, and failed relationship with her professor, Josie and Kinsley's tortured relationship, and Howard's many extrinicities. I'm not saying that right. And Howard's many eccentricities. I think I'm saying that right, but who knows really. I'm just gonna have a quick of my iced coffee. I don't make it like to have like in the morning, because I like to have my coffee after my workout. I'm kind of like implementing my workout routine mostly in the morning, like depending. Mostly in the morning, then I'll have my coffee after that. But sometimes I'll have like a bit of instant coffee, or some coffee left over from my dad makes it in the morning in the mocha pot, before my workout, just to, you know, wake up a bit. So sometimes I have 3 coffees a day, but I don't really count that first one because it's like instant coffee or just a little bit. But who knows? This espresso, but it's quite big because I put a lot of ice milk in there, and now because of the ice, I can see quite a lot of water at the top. But oh well. Yeah. So I think I will be moving on. Now we have Fate. And this actually filmed in Ireland. I'm not sure if all of it was. And I actually met someone who worked on this, but like as like an editor, or yeah, they worked, not sure which season they worked on, maybe the second one. I think, yeah. But they weren't even credited, so yeah. So Bloom, A Fairy with firepower. I mean, they're uncredited, like, they hadn't done a significant role to be credited or whatever, and you know how many people are in the credits, so it wasn't like a major role or anything, but yeah. So Bloom, and I've watched the first season of this, but not the second. I think I watched like an episode of the second one, and I told them I'd watched it, but I hadn't continued watching the second season. So Bloom, a fairy with fire powers, enrolls at a magical boarding school in the other world called Alfea. She shares a suite with Stella, a life fairy, Aisha, a water fairy, Terra, an earth fairy, Musa, a mind fairy. With the help of her friends, Bloom starts to learn more about her past. Meanwhile, ancient creatures called the Bird Ones return to the other world and threaten everyone in Alfea. I think before this, Bloom didn't even know she was a fairy. So teenage bounty hunters, two twin sisters, Blair and Sterling, damage their father's pickup truck by crashing into a bail jumper. They accidentally catch a bounty for bounty hunter, I believe. I can't remember exactly how it goes down, and they want to get into bounty hunting to earn some quick money because they learn it's quite well paid. They also start working at the ice cream shop where the bounty hunter works, kind of like as a cover. They must also juggle their studies at Wilhelm Christian School. They both have boy drama and other high school things going on in their lives, as well as they have this way they look at each other and they can communicate without talking. It's meant to be because they're like twins, but it's like interesting to see and stuff like that. So Virgin River is another one. Mel moves to a rural town from LA to work as a nurse in a small town doctor's practice. She was hired by Hope McRae, the town mayor, to assist the town doctor Vernon Mullins. Vernon doesn't even know Hope hired her. He's in denial that he's getting old and can't run the practice alone. This show immediately reminded me of Heart of Dixie, where a young girl also moves to a small town from a big city to work in a practice where she's not wanted. It even has the exact same doctor as the actor. The main difference is Zoe from Heart of Dixie is a fellow doctor, whereas Mel is a nurse practitioner. So it's like goes through a small town life at Virgin River and into Mel's past and into her love story and all of this, and it's nice small town vibes, everyone knows everyone's business kind of thing, but she's slowly accepted into the community and like makes a nice home for herself. So Dynasty follows, I think this is like as well as the second one or something, spin-off of it. There was original one a while ago. This is the newer one, and it's also on Netflix now, but I didn't watch it on Netflix. It follows a rich family. Fallon and Stephen learn their billionaire father is engaged to Crystal, an employee at their father's company, Carrington Atlantic. She allies with Blake's nemesis and former employee Jeff Colby to separate the couple. Stephen, after Stephen, more relatives return to Atlanta with agendas. And yeah, there's so much drama in this one. I've watched a good majority of it, but I stopped watching around maybe season 4, the end of season 4, I'm not sure. But so much stuff happens. Sometimes the actors want to leave, and then they write the character away from the storyline or something like that. But yeah, so there was one character at least that I was sad to see go. And yeah, there's so much drama, so much happening. All of the love, life stuff of Fallon and all that. So then we have On My Block. In a rough inner city Los Angeles neighborhood called Freeridge, 4 teens find their lifelong friendship tested as they begin high school. Toucans, Santos, and the Prophets, a Latinx and Black gang, have been beefing for years, and this often leads to gunshots and death. The show isn't all about gangs, it's more about the relationship between the characters. So yeah, there's Northern Rescue. After the death of their mother, John West and his 3 children moved from Boston to his hometown of Turtle carrying them way tougher than you would think with his workaholic personality. His children all face their own problems while dealing with the passing of their mother and their own kind of struggles at school and whatever else. Dare Me follows the lives of competitive high school cheerleaders in a small Midwestern town. The cheerleaders become entangled in a series of dark secrets after their new coach, Colette French, takes over the squad. Shortly after meeting the new coach, Addie and Beth catch her cheating on her husband with her ex fleeing and sergeant stationed in their town. The fallout of this moment is an addictively toxic game of manipulation and one-upmanship. For Beth, who comes from a wealthy but broken home and is the team coveted head of the pyramid or top girl, this intel is powerful leverage over coach should she ever need to get ahead socially or in the squad, whereas Addie, who is middle class and a much quieter, more complicit personality, is exploited by a coach who believes she's special and uses her both to keep her quiet and orchestrate the affair. She also gets Addie to babysit for her and all this. And Addie is quite attached to her, whereas Beth is like, what do you see in coach, as well, there's Beth's sister, who's also on the squad, who's younger, who I think is the product of her father's affair on another woman, and they now live across the street from her. It's weird. But yeah, then we have Summertime, which is an Italian show. The show is an Italian drama in the town of Antigo. Summer and Ali are people with opposite lifestyles. Summer is a very introverted young woman. She hates the summer, despite her name, and decides to find a job at the Grand Hotel Casen Diego to financially support her mother as a jazz musician, since her father has left for the summer to work abroad. Summer has two best friends, Sophia and Edo, and a younger sister named Blue. Ale is a young man originally from Rome who is a famous motorcyclist. He has taken a break from competing with his racing team for the summer after a dangerous accident nearly kills him. His father is his greatest supporter and wants him to go back to racing after the summer. However, Ale has lost interest in racing. Ale's mother, Laura, is the manager of the hotel where Summer works. Ale falls in love with Summer and tries to woo Summer. Atypical is about 18-year-old Sam Gardner, who is on the autism spectrum as he searches for love and independence, while Sam is on a funny and emotional journey of self-discovery. The rest of his family must grapple with changing their own lives as they all struggle with the ongoing central theme of the series. What does it really mean to be normal? There's also his sister Casey, who at the start of the series gets into like a private kind of school, I think, on scholarship, I believe, and this would help her chances at colleges. She's an athlete who loves running and is quite fast, so she kind of trains on the running team, and she has her boyfriend, but there's other drama at school and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on in that. At the start, Sam is going to therapy, or I think he does throughout the whole series, but his therapist suggests the idea of dating, and his mother is shocked by this and doesn't necessarily approve. And Sam kind of gets into the world of dating sure you've heard of the super popular series. It's about six best friends living in New York City. It starts with Rachel when she meets Monica in Central Park with a gown in her wedding dress after having left Barry, the person she's meant to marry, at the altar. So I'm not exactly sure how it happens. I think she calls Monica but says she doesn't answer. So she came here, so I'm not sure if Monica is expecting to see Rachel when she shows up. So yeah, she starts working as a waitress there and moves in with Monica. So Rachel starts off as a waitress and tries to make it in the fashion world. Monica is a chef. Joey is an actor. Phoebe is a singer slash masseuse who can't really sing that well. Ross, Monica's brother, is a paleontologist, and Chandler is a data processor. The show depicts the lives as they figure out life, going through different relationship and stages of life. No matter what, they always have each other's backs, usually, and at the end of the day, they are true friends, the kind of group everyone watching the show wishes they have if they don't already, like a group of close friends that kind of live together. Well, it changes at various points in the show, but the main thing is Monica and I believe Rachel live together, and Chandler and Joey live together. But I think they all live in the apartment building for most of the time, but that kind of switches out who lives with who sometimes, They even switch apartments for one point, like a bed. But yeah, next up we have Julie and the Phantoms. It's only one season, but it was entertaining enough and quite enjoyable. So in 1995, a band called Sunset Curve performed a sound check at the Orpheum in Los Angeles, where they are set to perform that night. Just before their big show, Luke, Alex, and Reggie leave to eat street dogs, while their fourth bandmate Bobby stays back to flirt with their waitress Rose. The street dogs turn out to be rancid, and the three guys die from food poisoning. So it's a bit dramatic. I don't think they all die from food poisoning from street dogs, but it sets up the storyline, I guess. 25 years later, Julie Molina is kicked out of her school's music program after a year of being emotionally unable to play piano due to her mother's death. Her mother was also a musician, so maybe playing music is hard for her because of this. While cleaning out her mother's studio, Julie finds and plays a Sunset Curve CD and unintentionally summons the three deceased members as ghosts. Despite her initial fear, Julie allows them to stay inspired by them to make music again, playing a song by her mother on the piano. So I think Julie, I'm not sure if it's at all times or not that Julie can see them. I'm not sure if it's at all times, but other people can see the band when they play music. But I think they have to be kind of like summoned by like Julie playing or something. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. So the next two are a bit more kind of serious, not serious, but kind of unbelievable. Is like a true American true crime miniseries about a series of rapes in Washington State and Colorado. So the Nancy Shapiro, a 19-year-old Jewish woman, is living unhappily in an arranged marriage among the Samar sect of the ultra-Orthodox community in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, New York City. She runs away to Berlin, where her estranged mother lives, and tries to navigate a secular life, discovering life outside her community, rejecting all beliefs she grew up with. Her husband, who learns that she is pregnant, travels to Berlin with his cousin by order of the rabbi to try and find her. I think even with it being strict, she like something about piano, like she's not meant to play piano. There's something like that. And yeah, in Berlin she kind of explores her freedom. She meets some guy. She does see her mother, I believe, and all this. You'll see it's quite short. Like, I think the episodes are quite long, maybe like an hour each or 50 minutes. But there's only 4 of them. I thought it was quite good. It also got really good reviews and stuff like that. So, Kids is another German TV show. It only has 6 episodes. This series features the main character of Lizzie, who wants revenge on Vanessa, a rich influencer who she blames for her brother's death. Her brother was driving to see Vanessa, like on New Year's, so it was just turning 12 when Joseph, her brother, drove away from them and where they were hanging out with his friends, because I think it was because Vanessa texted him. So he drives to see her when he dies in a car accident. So Lizzie infiltrates Vanessa's friend group in order to enact her revenge, and she discovers different things about the friend group and what happened along the way. Yeah, and Lizzie has also kind of put her life on hold. She was meant to go to London, to St. Martin's, to study, I think, fashion. Her friend was also there, like, who we see in the series. It's back for summer, but she doesn't go because of what happened to Joseph. She was meant to go, I think, the next year, or like that year, it's December, so he died just near January, and she would have gone that September, but she put this off because of what happened, and said she couldn't leave her parents alone. Quite short, sweet, and I just started watching it a second time. I'm not sure if I'll finish, but yeah, it's so next up we've got Rita. It's a Danish show. Rita is a headstrong and unconventional teacher and single mother who protects and helps her students, but struggles to manage her own personal life. According to her, she chose this profession to protect students from their parents. While she goes out of her way to advise and help her pupils, Rita's personal and family life seem to need the same kind of assistance. Hepe is discovering his sexuality, her son, while the older ones, Rico and Molly, are experiencing the mishaps of adulthood. Other main characters include Hortis, a naive teacher who becomes Rita's best friend, Ramos, the schoolmaster with whom Rita has an off-again relationship. So it was a while ago that I watched that, but I remember really enjoying it. I didn't watch it all, but I watched a good bit of it. Like, some of these I haven't watched all of it if it's really long, but I've watched a good majority of it, so there's still a good bit left. So next up we have Dash and Lily. It's also a 1-season show. I'm not sure if more is coming. I think it's 8 episodes. I believe. But Lily, fed up with being single, puts a notebook in a bookshop in order to find someone similar to her to potentially date. Dash finds a book and follows the instructions in it. It's like a book of dares. Dash is a teenager living in New York. His father goes out of town on Christmas vacation, along with many of his peers' parents. He lives with his mother, but I believe this is what happens. He lives with his mother, but decides to stay at his father's place, knowing that he will be away. He doesn't really ask his father. Lily, on the other hand, loves Christmas. Her parents and grandfather go out of town for Christmas, and with encouragement from her brother Lanston, Lily plans to leave a notebook with cryptic clues for potential love interest. Lily is a bit lonely and wants someone to talk to around the holidays. She's used to celebrating Christmas and having a big deal, but the house is her apartment is uncharacteristically quiet. But whereas Dash kind of really chose a solitary, he wanted that. So next up is Love 101. It's a Turkish teen comedy show. The story begins in today, Istanbul, when a woman named Isak arrives at an old house. There she recalls the past and the friends of her youth. Back in 1998, a group of young people, Eda, Osman, Sinan and Kerem, studying in a school in Istanbul, are at risk of expulsion because of their poor behaviour. The headmaster and most of their teachers are against them, except one teacher by the name of Burku. However, they find Burku will be relocated, which means they will be expelled after her relocation. I think it's because they need a unanimous vote to expel these students, and Burku would vote towards them. I think that's why they're deliberately transferring her, I believe. So in order to stop this, the students unite and make a plan. The students discover that by law, she can choose the place of work herself if she's married and she doesn't necessarily want to be relocated. They decide they will try to make Burku fall in love with the new sports teacher, Kemal. They ask for help from Isak, an excellent student and a girl with a big heart, and also about what their future career ambitions are. Eda aspires to be a graphic designer. Osman is a young entrepreneur trying to hustle his way out of poverty by finding gigs. Sinan struggles to keep his life together, always sipping from his flask as he continues living with his senile grandfather since he was 14 after his family's divorce. Kerem, a basketball student who gets kicked out of the school team, also endeavors the struggles of being the son of a very famous person in Turkey. So, October Faction is the next one. The show follows the story of a monster hunting couple, Fred and Dolores Allen, and their children, Geoff and Viv. Following the death of Fred's father, Samuel, the family decide to go back to their home, Barrington-on-Hudson in New York, to arrange the funeral. The children soon begin showing supernatural tendencies during an impromptu seance. Viv has visions of a sea creature with long hair chained to the sea floor, struggling to free itself. Her brother accidentally reveals a teacher's deepest, darkest secret about his wife in front of his classmates. Both are ridiculed by the popular cliques for being outcasts. Fred and Dolores are members of Presidio, a secret organization tasked to protect humanity from various breeds of monsters. They must hide their identities from the townsfolk and appear to live normal life. This proves hard from the start as strange things begin to unfold in the sleepy little town. So because I was doing this little write-up of stuff and I saw October Faction, I thought maybe I'll watch a bit of that again. So I actually started watching a bit of it last night, but I swear I looked at the time and it was 10 minutes. I think the episode was 50 minutes. Okay, so it was 10 minutes in. I looked at the time and I was getting tired. And because I've been getting up a little bit earlier, I said I was getting up a bit earlier, and even then I'm getting up a bit earlier again. So by the time it gets to wherever time I'm watching the show, 11 p.m., I'm tired. So I was put the show on. It was 10 minutes and I looked, and then I just fell asleep. I think I looked at the time again. I thought I must have fell asleep for a minute or two, but it was 40 minutes through the show, and that must have been I was asleep for half an hour on the couch. So then I woke up. I had no clue what was happening. I think it was after the seance, or they were just about to do the seance or something with Viv, and I was like, what's happening? And then I started watching a bit of Ginny and Georgia instead, and then went to sleep again. And yeah, then I woke up quite early this morning, and I thought, oh, I'm up now, but then I did go back to sleep until a little bit later. I didn't need to be up that early, but yeah, I was tired. So basically the moral is I tried to watch this October Faction again last night, but failed. Just so tired, next up is Quicksand. It's I think it's a Finnish show. I'll just check that for you. I should have written that down. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I didn't write this one down. There's another one with the same actor as this in a different show. Oh no, I think it's Swedish. Sorry, Swedish show. And he plays a much more likable character answers the main question. As the only student left alive after the shooting, did she conspire with her boyfriend or was she an innocent bystander? Yeah, it kind of follows like Maya meeting her boyfriend or like meeting Sebastian and them spending time together over the summer. I believe in France on like a boat. Like she was there with her parents, but then Sebastian invited her on the boat and all of this. And then like her and her parents had dinner with him and her little sister as well, I believe. And all of this, and then suddenly them becoming getting in this very kind of close relationship. It's too close and all of this, and then we do see kind of the shooting, and it's like it's quite dark, you know, it's a school shooting, and in the end it's, yeah, I'm not even sure if we get clarity about it, but the only surviving member is Maya. Like Sebastian dies too, but yeah, trigger warnings for sure. But anyway, we're moving on to Lovesick, which is the last Netflix show in this list, and this is kind of the opposite, not the opposite, but like opposite in tone. Like Quicksand is dark and whatever, while Lovesick is very much a light-hearted British show following the main character of Dylan. So at the beginning of the show, Dylan is diagnosed with chlamydia. He attempts to contact all his previous partners to inform them of his diagnosis. Dylan lives with his best friends Evie and Luke. Evie previously harbored a secret crush for Dylan, but has since moved on and recently has become engaged. The majority of each episode is told through flashbacks showing Dylan's encounter with a number of women, as well as the changes his friends go through. So it's kind of set up, I think there's 3 seasons, but it's kind of set up where like each episode is a different woman who Dylan has been with and like has to contact because of the chlamydia, but mostly it's flashbacks and what happened between them. And yeah, it's kind of like awkward, fun show, friendly dynamic between the friends, and also all the things they go through. It's set in Glasgow, in the West End actually, where I actually used to live in Glasgow. But yeah, I don't think I noticed many places when watching this show, but hey. So now we're moving on to the non-Netflix shows. We have Nancy Drew, the 2019 like adaptation of it, and because there's lots of Nancy Drew stuff, there's 4 seasons at present, and I've watched it recently up to the updates because I didn't know there was a new season. I think season 4, so I've watched all of that recently. So after putting off applying to Columbia University to deal with the loss of her mother, 18-year-old Nancy Drew gets entangled in the investigation of socialite Tiffany Hudson's murder. She and the employees of the Claw, the restaurant in which she works, prickly manager George Van, worldly and polished waitress Bess Marvin, laid-back dishwasher Ace, a mechanic Ned Nickerson, whom she's having a no-strings attached fling with, reluctantly Ally declare the names of suspicion. With secrets are all determined to keep hidden. Not only is Nancy determined to unveil them in order to trust them, she unearths a connection to Tiffany's homicide to a decade-long cold case turned urban legend. The show has a lot of supernatural elements, unlike previous versions of Nancy Drew. So I think this is the only kind of version of Nancy Drew where there's so much supernatural stuff, or any supernatural stuff. It's very much centered in the supernatural world. And the main characters we've mentioned, George, Nancy, Bess, Ace, and Nick, are aware of the supernatural. Other characters become aware of it or aware of it, but the majority of the people in the town don't know about the supernatural, believe it exists. So every episode is supernatural stuff happening all the time. I don't understand all of it all the time, but yeah, it's interesting. So now moving on to Big Little Lies. So this show has won 8 primetime Emmys and also 8 further nominations. So the Emmys they actually won was including Outstanding Limited Series, a Directing Award for Valet, and Acting Awards for Kidman, Skarsgård, and Dern. So this show centers around the mother murders of elementary school children and their families. A murder occurs at a school fundraiser, but neither the victim or murderer is revealed at first. We find out later. Madeline is a strong-willed and wealthy alpha female in town who is struggling with her ex-husband's marriage to a yoga instructor named Bonnie, while also trying to build a relationship with her oldest daughter, Abigail. Madeline's friend, Celeste Wright, is a retired lawyer with two twin sons who are beginning at the same school. Madeline and Celeste befriend Jane Chapman, a young single mother who moved to Monterey, hoping to provide her son Ziggy with a better life. Belle, the daughter of equally wealthy and volatile Renata Klein, accuses Ziggy of attempting to choke her at school, which she denies. Celeste appears to have a very happy life with her husband Perry, but he is privately violent towards her. So yeah, it's the lives of wealthy families, mostly wealthy, in that go to a kind of a I'm not sure if it's a fancy elementary school, but yeah, and the relationships between the mothers, which some are good, some are bad, and how they get on with each other and how they kind of become friends with each other and all that's happening, and what happens at the school fundraiser and like flashbacks, kind of between the attack or the murder, between the murder and the present day, and like what really happened, and eventually you get to what happened. And there's 2 seasons of this as well. It has a very like interesting cast. It has Laura Dern as Renata Klein. It has Nicole Kidman as Celeste Wright. It has, in the 2nd season, Meryl Streep as Celeste's mother-in-law, so Perry's mother, and all of this. So it's interesting. Oh yeah, Shailene Woodley as Jane Chapman. Oh, who's Madeline Klein? Oh, not Madeline Klein. Madeline is like someone famous as well, like Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, that's it. So a lot of famous actors and actresses in this one. There's a lot of awards and really good reviews, so I'd recommend that one. Next up we have Love Victor, which was kind of after the movie Love Simon. It's all just check now, but like it's based on, they're both books. Who wrote Love Victor? So book. So by Isaac. No, sorry. Becky Albertalli. So yeah. So the first season follows a new student at Creekwood High, Victor. The series follows his journey of self-discovery, facing challenges at home, and struggling with his sexuality or sexual orientation. He reaches out to Simon from Love Simon when it seems too difficult for him to navigate through high school by himself. So yeah, we actually hear him like, I think all the and it's actually the vibe of the episodes. He's like addressing them all as kind of like letters to Simon. So that's why it's called Love Victor. So yeah, but I think we meet Simon once in this. He's older, so he kind of acts like a big brother, big whatever kind of role model for Victor. So next up, I didn't watch all of this. I've watched like one, maybe part of the 2nd season, but I think a 3rd season has either just come out or it is coming out. It is Only Murders in the Building, and season 3 release date has I'm not actually sure when it was. I think it's like it's already out or it's coming out like currently. quite enjoyed it. I haven't got to finish all the second season yet, I think. But so it's Charles Hayden Savage, a misanthropic former television actor, Oliver Putnam, a struggling Broadway director, and Mabel Mora, an apartment renovator, live at the Arconia. By chance, the three meet in the elevator, joined by Tim Gono, who enters talking on the phone. Later, after evacuating the building for an alarm, they bond over their shared love for a true crime podcast. They learn there was a death in the Arconia and sneak back inside, where they see Tim dead. The investigators believe it was suicide, but the three think otherwise. They find more evidence, such as Tim's frantic phone call in the elevator and package addressed to him that contained an engagement ring. Meanwhile, Oliver struggles with his relationship with his son. Charlie discusses his need for solitude, and Mabel expresses a fear of getting personal with people. They start a podcast titled Only Murders in the Building as they continue to investigate. An old photo is shown of Mabel and the friends, and she dubbed My Hardy Boys, which includes Tim. So this is kind of like from the first episode. This revealed Mabel knew Tim before. So yeah, it's about true crime podcast, and they're making it, and they're all quite interested in that. It reminds me of this other show. It's really good as well. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about like a true crime podcast as well. But it's so interesting. I really liked that one as well. It's like a true crime podcast TV show. I think it is based on a true story. That was good, yeah. Based on a true story. And like, there's only, yeah, I think I've watched that whole thing, honestly. And it came out this year, and yeah, I'd recommend that one as well. Okay, well, we're at it, I might as well. I haven't actually written a description for this because I've mentioned it, so I might as well. But it's basically this couple who are really into true crime and listen to podcasts and stuff, and they have a guy fixing their sink, and basically it's not really a spoiler because this all happens in like the first episode, but somehow they figure out that he is a serial killer because there were certain clues to someone being murdered who the husband and they'd gone to the bar together like they were friends, and the woman died shortly after, and the wife like put a few things together and thought it was him, and then she got her husband to tell him about certain things because they had become friends, like that he told her, and that he told him, and she put together like past like Google search of previous murders, and she realized it was him, and they actually knew. So basically, instead of like turning him in, they got him to do a podcast where he was, you couldn't see his voice or anything, or couldn't see his identity or theirs, I guess, because then they would be investigated too. But yeah, it's quite good. I hope there's more of that. I'm not sure if it's renewed or not. So next up, we've got The Fosters and Good Trouble. So Good Trouble is a spin-off of The Fosters, and it's funny because I actually watched the initial, I think it was 2 seasons of Good Trouble before The Fosters, and I quite liked The Good Trouble, so then I went back to watch The Fosters. But it's got a bit spoilery because then in Good Trouble that if you watched Good Trouble that everything turns out okay in The Fosters. But then again, if I tell you the summary of Good Trouble, it'll kind of be she's kind of like the main character, but they're all kind of the main character. But she's like, I feel like she's the main character. But no, they're all the main character. But it starts when she comes into their lives along with her brother Jude, and she's quite troubled. You know, she goes to juvie a few times. All of this, some for her fault, some doesn't seem like that much of her fault. But yeah, and just like her struggling with the fact that people can't love, and she deserves stability and a normal home life, and she's gonna thrive when she gets that because they've been to so many foster homes. It's because her mom died, and I don't know what else happened. Something with the father. I'm not exactly sure what it was, honestly, but yeah. So now Good Trouble is a spin-off which just features the main character. So it's a spin-off of The Fosters, which starts after both Mariana and Callie graduate from college and decide to move to LA together. I think Callie is a year older than Mariana, I believe, but she does a 5-year program and Mariana does a 4-year program for college. They are the two main characters, but their parents and siblings make various cameos in the series, such as like on Christmas, the Christmas episode with them all, and when they go to like the judge's house and all of this, a few of them are there. So they move into a communal living apartment building called the Coterie. Callie becomes a law clerk for Judge Wilson, and while Mariana becomes a software engineer. The two of them navigate their young adult lives while interacting with their neighbours and the people they befriend. So it's all the drama that comes with like growing up and finding yourself like, you know, doing well in their first real like grad jobs, and like what happens, like inequality and you know, inequalities in the workplace, relationships between different characters in the coterie and the workplace for some. Also just, you know, the struggles of the sisters living together. They honestly, those two had shared a room growing up, but now they're still sharing the room, and the drama and all of that going on, and the love interest, you know. So yeah. Now we're getting on to Parenthood, which the series is set in Berkeley, California, on the east shore of the San Francisco Bay. The show revolves around 3 generations of the Braverman family, Zeke Braverman and Camille Braverman, and the families of their 4 children, Adam, Sarah, Crosby, and Julie. Adam is married to Christina, and they have 2 children, Hattie and Max. And this is all like at the start of the show, when they have children, like their families might expand or whatever else. Max is diagnosed with Asperger's like at the start of the show, and they have to go through all of that. Sarah is divorced from Seth and has 2 teen children, Amber and Drew. Crosby is single. At the start of the show, Julie is married to Joel, and they have 1 daughter, Sydney. The show shows mundane yet chaotic day-to-day lives of the family and the struggles they each go through and how they come together as a family. So yeah, they have their take you home when you're drunk, like to his place. It's like when you visibly see intoxicated, it kind of seems like he's bad intentions. Like if he actually wanted to help you and he knew, well, I guess it's kind of hard if you were really so drunk you don't know where you live, but if he wanted to help you, he tried to bring you to your home and then leave you there, you know, alone. But I guess they could help you by bringing you home, but not like, you know, not touch you, you know, give you their bed and whatever else, and let you sober up. But anyway, it's this thing of like that she thinks all men, like not all men, people say they're a good man, but you don't really know how good a person is until they're put like in a situation where they could take advantage. But you have to choose to not do that, to be like a decent human being. So she acts super drunk when she's not, and then suddenly like shows that she's sober and like, what do you think you're doing? Like, and yeah, it kind of goes on. She starts dating a person she used to be in school with, obviously not the rapist, and all this, but she wants revenge on the person who was responsible kind of for her best friend committing suicide. But yeah, it's a really good show. I enjoyed it. A little bit dark, of course, a little bit, you know, not dark, but yeah, kind of in a way. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We've come to the end of my list. It was quite long, but I thought I might as well finish. I'm not sure how long this is because I had to start and stop the video a few times, so usually I can see like the button when I turn it on, it goes for like 30 minutes. My recording, like camera recording thing, but and then I can restart it and go again. But I have not to change the battery of the camera and it was on full, so I feel like it could nearly be an hour, but I'm always saying over when I say that. But yeah, anyway, I hope it was a bit slower talking, who knows. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I could maybe even